Hello everyone, this is a ride that I did this last weekend with three other guys, Joe, Max, and Max's son, Caleb. So this is out at Sargents, a very small town in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. And so this is mine and Joe's first time there, and Max is kind of our guide. So where we parked, we had to drive out, or ride out, quite a ways, a couple miles it seemed like, on these little cow trails through this pasture until we finally got to some single track that was really more like a cow trail up the side of the mountain. It was very rocky, and you'll notice that I'm using that Rekluse clutch to death on this climb, and there was a couple of climbs like this this day. And it was probably a pretty good workout for the clutch. Anyway, on this ride, it was quite rocky. That was not exactly something that we were expecting, or at least Joe and I weren't expecting, but it was fun once you got past the rocks. And this single track is definitely a little treacherous and very challenging, which was kind of fun. There's definitely some side hill where you can easily lose your grip and slide off to the side a little bit there. So it was fun, but also challenging. On this ride, I got to ride Joe's Sherco 300 SER and Max's KTM 300 XCW, and I definitely see now what the hype is over the two-strokes. I mean, obviously I'm riding a 454 stroke, but a lot of people kind of would talk you out of for riding this type of terrain. I still love it, but riding both of their bikes, I definitely appreciated a lot of things about the two-stroke. I definitely noticed that now that I have a Rekluse, I'm running a gear high in my four-stroke, and I'm riding it like I think I would ride a two-stroke. And so, being that I'm running a gear high, I don't get a lot of compression braking because of that, and then the Rekluse will freewheel at certain times, and so then I lose all compression braking. So I really liked that the two-stroke had a little bit of compression braking, but not a ton, and it definitely had that low-end power. So like with the Rekluse, I'm running pretty low RPMs, and I just kind of let the clutch do all the work. But with the two-stroke, it's actually, the clutch is fully engaged, and the engine itself is doing all the work because it can pull out with all the torque that the two-strokes have, or I guess it's torque. So I definitely liked that about the two-strokes. I didn't really like the vibration of the Sherco, but Max's 300, his KTM 300, has a counterbalance motor, so I definitely liked that a little bit better. It didn't have as much vibration, so that was pretty nice. The riding position was a little bit different, which is kind of hard to get used to. I think that probably affected my view of the ride more than anything else. But overall, I did like them. They do feel lighter on the trail. I definitely noticed that, and I don't know. It felt smooth because you didn't have compression braking, and your throttle response is pretty good. Everything just felt smooth. With the four-stroke, especially with this 450, it's kind of hard on, hard off. Like you get on the throttle hard, and it kind of jerks you, and then when you let off on the throttle, it kind of shuts down hard, and that compression braking kicks in. So it's kind of jerky, and it exacerbates the bumps, it seems like. So with the two-stroke, it definitely felt a little smoother. So I could definitely see how that might be a lot of fun for the tight technical stuff and rocky stuff like this. It would be pretty cool to have the two-stroke. After riding both those bikes, though, I got back on mine, and I still really like it. I do really like the suspension, even though my suspension is a little bit harder. I do think I can tune it with the clickers. I haven't really done that yet. And I don't know, there's just something about the 4-stroke that I'm used to and I'm accustomed to, and when I do want that extra compression braking on downhills, I can always downshift when I'm running a gear high to get a little bit extra compression braking and not rely completely on the brakes. So I do still like that. If I were to get a 2-stroke, I wouldn't put a Rekluse in it, but I probably would still put the left-hand rear brake on it, because I do like that a lot, and I do feel like I would use that left-hand rear brake a lot, because I'm not that great with the foot brake, and you would need that rear brake. You need to use that rear brake a little bit more on the 2-stroke, since you don't have the compression braking helping you out. But like I said, I do really like my bike still, and I don't think I would be getting rid of my bike anytime soon to get a 2-stroke, but I would like to have 2 bikes. I think I would really like to have one of those YZ450FXs. Those seem pretty cool. I'm not sure that it would be enough torque, but I would like the idea. I do like the idea of having 2 blue bikes in my stable. I really like the Yamahas, and KTMs are great too, but they're hard to find. And the KTM riders, I said this to Max, and he didn't disagree. The KTM riders, they ride their bikes to death, which says a lot to KTM's credit, because they can put up with all that abuse. But for a guy looking in the used market, it's hard to find one in decent condition, and I'm pretty picky about my stuff, so that would be hard for me to find, and it has been hard for me to find. That's kind of how I end up with this 450FX. Anyhow, I almost bought the 250X. This one popped up the same day that I was going to look at this bike, and I ended up passing on it and going with this bike, just because of some things that I had heard from, ironically, somebody else who I had looked at their bike, their 250X, and they had a 450FX, and they really liked it, and so it kind of talked me into it. And I've just been slowly making it my own with the Rekluse and the left-hand rear brake, so it's very rideable these days. And now that I have that throttle cam on there, the G2 Ergonomics throttle cam on there that really tames out the throttle, and I have a really tame ignition map on there, so it's like I said, a very rideable bike, and I still really like it. I'm definitely going to do some more tuning with the clickers, because this ride, it was particularly bumpy, and I think I definitely could have adjusted the compression on both the forks and the shock to tune some of that out, because I definitely liked the way Max's KTM rode. His was a lot softer and absorbed those bumps a lot better, so I think I could definitely do something to that. Getting back to this ride here, you can see this is kind of a washed out section of trail. I went low. The GoPro kind of flattens everything out, but I went low, which would be kind of dangerous, but the clutch really kind of just pulled me out of it. And so I was riding ahead of Joe, and so Joe went low too, but I guess got a little bit extra throttle, and so he was starting to slip down the side of the mountain there. You can see he ended up having to push a little bit, but he got out of it just fine, as you'll see there. And we ended up having a pretty good day. It was a very scenic ride. As you can see, it's gorgeous up here. We went up to 2 lakes at the top, and yeah, it was a great day. So hope you enjoyed the video, and sorry I bogged it up with so much talking, but hopefully it was informational.